Let's fucking go!
Amazing.
Yes!
That is
Everybody thank
amazing.
him. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. That is amazing. Thank
We
you.
appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Make sure, make sure, make sure you thank him if y'all got a membership.
Getting closer to the
That
goal.
is beautiful. That is beautiful. Guys, 64 away from Hershey Park,
Woo!
Lolcow Court, and all these banned words staying the rest of the stream.
Oh
Make sure you thank
gosh.
him. With Glammy spot on
I'm
the
not gonna
leaderboard,
be okay.
no. With Glammy spot on the leaderboard, this stuff, I believe, is really starting to hit her. With her being attacked her entire career in the LCU,
Hmm.
personally, I think she is trying to fight a fight almost unwinnable, in her own opinion, deep down.
I get that.
That stuff sucks for her.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like, oh my god,
Get in there.
no!
Get in there.
Which one? I have all of them.
Start slow. Start slow.
Right, I don't. What is this? Wait, what about this? This one. Hold up. Hold up.
That is number 4.
Should I go higher?
No, not right now.
Okay.
We have 4 hours. We have 4 hours.
Fuck. Can I even open it? What the hell? Do you see this?
0 strength. I'm
It's
kidding.
not coming off. I got it off before.
I'm kidding. Use the bottom of your shirt and grip it.
Oh,
You got it?
I got it.
Beautiful.
Fuck. That's a bitch.
By
Oh,
the
okay.
way, Keemstar, aka Twiggy, received one of those memberships.
Ooh, hey.
Holy
Xavier super chatted $200, 4 words, I, me, this, no.
So yeah, a lot has happened, right? Right? A lot has been happening within the LCU relating with the whole Zay Judah stuff. And most of this video would be very much focused on Zay Judah and all that drama that comes with it, right? Um and I think when we get into that particular thing in the next set of clip that talks about it and so on and so on, um, I guess maybe hopefully my opinions are very clear in what I'm trying to say, right? Because making a allegation that is so damning is ridiculous. This isn't the first time when a allegation like this has gone way out of control. This isn't the first time, right? And hopefully this will be the last time for a long time, if not permanently.
Now, at Fat Camp, when that happened with Wings, Boogie claimed it was not a push. Boogie claimed Kelly tripped.
Yeah,
Boogie,
because of the angle he was from, apparently.
exactly.
You know?
Right. So,
Wait, that That's still a banned word?
5 minutes.
No. No.
Anyways,
What the fuck?
Bigfoot continue clip. Still a lot to say.
So, like I was saying, I'm bipolar. I was crying one day because I was having a really fucking bad day. S1K was telling me, do not start the fucking stream. Do not start the stream while you're crying. Boogie was pushing me, screaming at me, yelling at me, start the stream. And then he was calm. Then he's like, no, just calm down, because he saw I was freaking the fuck out. And then he's like, just start the stream while you're crying. Do it for content. S1K is yelling, do not start the stream while you're crying. He was trying to save me from a moment of a crash out because I'm bipolar. Was I ever going to reveal that on stream? No.
I don't want to be in the middle of this. Where's Boogie? Are you kicking Boogie out of his own show?
Kicking me out every single time he won't let me speak in front of 4,000 people. He's going to make an accusation like that.
I know, but you know the rules. You can't fucking kick someone out of their own
So you're
show.
going to let him be racist, make an accusation like that, and not let me speak?
Oh, it's my fault?
No, I'm saying
Yeah, because what's the idea? I'll fucking stay on. Enjoy, Zay. Fuck you. Fucking enjoy.
But I'm just saying, who is moving him?
That's not what my hands were up.
Who is moving him out of this room?
I was just drinking water. That wasn't me that time.
Sit up here and tell more lies about the bruises on your fucking arms. What about those? Talk about those.
Bruises on my arms.
The
I mean
bruises
it.
on your arms, yeah.
You want me to call my parents and then
Hey,
tell you
Discord,
what
hey, Discord, show them about the fucking bruises.
Yeah, also, I forgot to mention, I guess in my last video, when I was covering the LCU, apparently one of their mod, Gaffadarian, hopefully I said his name wrong. I probably did say it wrong. I don't know why I was saying, hopefully I said it. I was trying to say, hopefully I said his name right, but, you know, Freudian slip, I guess? I don't know. So yeah, so one of their moderators decided to mess with Boogie by taking him in and out, in and out. I do believe Gaff is also one of their biggest donators. I'm 100% sure on that one. But to do something that's frankly kind of stupid on your end, because like, you know, first off, if you're a host, I think Keem is a little bit more forgiving, but since it's not your show, Keem isn't as forgiving, because, you know, I think Keem is very much strict about it. But as well, right? As well, you know, it's their show. You can't really pull crap like this. And even if Zay was the first to do it to Boogie because he was completely upset, also you gotta remember Boogie talks over people. He will steamroll you and dominate the conversation. Boogie is very much like that, right? Especially, you know, the time that I spent on the Discord back in the day, or really like almost like 7-8 months ago, maybe 9 months ago, you know, Boogie would try to dominate the conversation, right? So in my eye, I kind of see why Zay would do it, but for a regular moderator to do it, yeah, you're kind of a dumbass.
Got caught in 4K.
No, Xylee. What's Xylee's opinion? She's mad at Desi? Xylee's mad at Desi? Look, my girl doesn't want me to talk to you because you are human trash. That's what it comes down to.
I don't want to be in your fucking life.
Yes,
you don't want to be in mine. You were the one who begged to be my friend so bad that you had Boogie attack me on stream multiple times. Come on.
As soon as you didn't give her any energy, she stopped giving it to you. In fact, you're right. You messaged her a couple other times, but she realized you didn't give her the energy, so she didn't want to bother. She didn't want to bother.
She was the one who was in my server when we played Minecraft and then left.
Boogie Nail Slammer.
Discord.
She left your server because she doesn't use Discord.
Meg C's coming through with 550. Boogie, we're about halfway through a goal to kick you. We're about 12 more 20.
I don't give a fuck.
No, we're at a goal.
Okay, well let's talk about this so far. Let's talk about this so far. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah, I know.
Batgirl going off. Zay is fucking heated. Xylee doesn't even want to deal with it. She goes off and then she goes off stream and then she comes back and she's like, bro, what the fuck?
I was flipping shit when I was watching that last night because Batgirl was making the funniest faces and Xylee kept jumping out of her chair. I mean, Boogie just kept making himself look sillier and sillier and sillier. And like I was thinking, you know, if he really thought that she was being abused or whatever, it was good for him to say it at first, but like after so silly like that, it's just hard, you know.
It's It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. From what I understand, Boogie had some concerns about something, he heard and seen, right? And he had sat on that for a few months. He saw S1K in the VC, Nerds VC without Zay Zerded. So he decided, and he had spoken to Desi about it apparently prior, and he decided to go into the Nerds VC and say to S1K directly, don't quote me verbatim, but it was something like, I hope you're treating your woman well, something like that. And the response that I understand that he got back was yelling and name calling and things like that back. And then Zay Zudid came in and was defending her man. I just think at that moment, it could have been different if Boogie's yelling because I feel he wasn't being heard. And I think if S1K had have responded and said, everything's good, everything's fine, if that was the cut, you know what I'm saying? Then
I wish
Boogie
he would have done that.
probably would have left
the
that
whole
saying,
night.
thanks, man. And that would have reassured him that everything's okay.
Like
But
on
he left that
Queens,
conversation without an answer.
and he claims that he went to like different people and talked about it before, and he felt like that was his only way to get it out was on live. But this is thought like right after her and Yo Mama got in the fight, so it kind of felt like a dog pile.
Okay.
To me, a little bit.
Okay.
Like I don't know if that was the time to do it.
No, so in general, just a lot of things happened yesterday. I unfortunately didn't.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe Wonder Woman was any abusive relationship. Wow, I can't think right now. So I think she's very much talking from personal experience, right? And if I am correct that she was in a very abusive relationship, I do feel bad for her. That is something I don't want anybody to go through. If that is the case, if that is what happened, I think she probably wants to say more than compared to what she usually is, because she's usually a soft-spoken person. That I would say very clearly. But and I believe even Beans was in an abusive relationship. So I think they gave more into detail about that whole situation, how everything happened, right? Now, do I think? Well, we'll get into it more, right? We'll have to let's keep moving forward.
You quit, but you know what? Honestly, part of the reason I love staying in the LCU, even when all this shit goes on, is just to spite you. Truly to spite you.
Zay, you know what the fucked up thing is? You know what really got his goat? It wasn't anything. He said he had a little dick. That's the only thing he kept talking about. He talked about I had a little dick. He said my dick was this.
No, he said a lot more than that. Y'all just couldn't hear because Boogie was screaming over him.
Boogie, let's be fair. Everybody has a bigger dick than you. Everybody. There's girls that have bigger dicks than you. Like, it's like, what do you mean? Like, are you really upset about that shit? This dude has been living fucking rent-free in your mind because he treated you one day and hasn't gone on camera yet. And you really want to bait this motherfucker back on. It's not gonna happen. You fucked up yesterday. All you had to do is go on Rewind and say, look, I was dumb as fuck for saying that shit. I was dumb as fuck. I don't like S1K. I don't like Zay. That's perfectly fucking fine. But for you to do this fucking stupid shit in front of the world to see, you are a fucking piece of shit. You are garbage. You need to write a fucking 2-page letter, not using AI, of the things that you fucked up and the reason why you should apologize. I don't give a fuck. Is Zay the best person? No. Is fucking S1K a fucking good guy? No. But the fucking shit that you said is fucking unacceptable. Apologize, you fat, cancer, faking piece of shit.
He's not gonna fucking apologize. When has he ever fucking apologized?
Bro, go ahead.
The way I heard this cocksucker motherfucker treating Zay, on the day I joined fucking Nerds as their manager, she was bawling her fucking eyes out, and this motherfucker's in the background screaming at her. On what planet have you ever... She said he was just helping me. He's just helping me. On what planet has screaming at a crying woman ever fucking helped them? It never fucking has.
So,
Are you worried about somebody yelling at a fucking girl because she's crying when you literally listed off, honey?
No, it's
there's
funny.
a list of things that are gonna kill me. This is gonna do the fake cancer. I have diabetes. I'm just fat as fuck. I'm boring. That can also kill me. And then made her do that on camera. Boogie, do you not know you have a storied history? I watched so many videos on you before I met you, and I thought that this literally was you playing it up. Do you remember when you want to talk about being fake and doing all this shit? Remember when you went to your mother's mausoleum and that shit? What's up, boss?
Hey guys, you can smoke on stream and all that, but if you do that, it's gonna mess with the algorithm. Like it's gonna mess with your viewers. Notifications will stop going out and all that, so it's not even worth it.
Yes,
when
sir.
you can just
camera.
When you can just like turn your head and smoke off camera and then come right back. Like, you know what I mean?
Yes,
totally
sir.
not worth it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry, Kim. Yeah, make sure I gotta make sure I turn off my camera. I'm sorry. Today I need tobacco. I'm so sorry. I love how it wasn't even about anything we just said.
For a second, I got
please don't
confused.
smoke
I
on
was
camera.
like, I vape, and then I was like, oh, I forgot you were smoking for a second.
No, I don't smoke tobacco
I was like,
on
I'll
camera
hide my
normally.
vape. I can go behind the mic.
You know I don't normally smoke tobacco on fucking camera, but literally this is like, just keep going.
It never fucking will! And by the way, I seen the bruises on your fucking arms, Zay. I saw the bruises on your fucking arms. Several people did.
Now, besides Zay Zuzu giving her reasons to stay in the LCU, she did a 4-hour-long stream. Now, for the foreseeable future, Nerd will be 4 hours until said otherwise. So, yeah. And so during that 4 hour, they decided to cover this whole drama, as well going into Boogie's personal past and the things he said and things has been done. Now, there has been a debate among like Boogie detractors or whatever, whether or not Boogie abused his ex-wife, whether or not Boogie abused Desi. And I think in some regard you can make a case depending on how you want to interpret the way Boogie acts towards everything. It could be kind of abusive, which is hilarious that he called Zay Zudu's boyfriend S1K abusive. Now, again, regardless of my opinion on the host, I would say clearly that if you're going to make an allegation that bad, you got to be ready. But you also got to be ready to take the hit yourself. You got to be ready for people to dig up shit about you. So, you know, in the case of Boogie, they did. And, oh boy.
Stand and scream in her face about fucking, you know, tell her I wish she was fucking dead, or, you know, I don't know. At the end of the day, confirm.
Did you hear that part? Did you hear that part? Because there was an earlier clip we played where he denied that, where he said he never screamed in her face and said that she deserves to die. But wait, play it back.
My wife's
play it back.
Perfect. No. Did we argue from time to time? Yes. I think most couples do. Did I ever stand and scream in her face about fucking, you know, tell her I wish she was fucking dead, or, you know, I don't know. At the end of the day.
I don't want to be seen on screen with those comments.
I don't know.
I don't even know what's true anymore.
Why would you say...
Deb is in the chat is really mad at you. She is really mad at you. Let's talk about your children then. Sadly, neither of us have children.
Yeah, go ahead, Debs. Go ahead. Because
talk shit about
your idol that did it, she talks about everybody's family first. Listen to, I don't care, Bob. You can have your own morals, you can have your own grounds, and that's my point on it. Do not talk about Tina has no limits when it comes to anybody else. She'll talk about anything when it comes to anybody else and then cry wolf when it happens to her. She has one thing that triggers her, so if she hits the one thing that triggers other people, I'm going to hit the one thing that triggers her. I don't care. It's eye for an eye in this universe.
I don't think she cries wolf, but she definitely gets pissed. I think she gets pissed.
No, she cries
I don't think Tina cries at all. I think she just goes even Because look, I don't even think it's a cry wolf thing. I think it's like,
way,
okay,
no, it's a cry wolf.
She
it's
just
the
raises
same
the
way,
stake even more.
No, it's the same way every time Boogie gets upset and he's losing an argument, he'll bring up, oh, well, you, Desi this, Desi that, because people are going to automatically feel worse for Desi because she's not a host. The same way Tina, she'll be like, when she's losing an argument, she'll be like, well, Albert this, Albert that. Well, because Albert's not a host, and instantly people are going to feel more bad for Albert. Same way, I can keep going on this. There's a lot of people that do this shit.
Sweeping just means in this universe, I don't agree with you. Like, legit. Sweeping in this universe just means I don't agree with you. Like, me and Zay do not have to agree on every fucking thing. Like, legit. Like, does Tina say some heinous shit about Zay? Yeah. Does Zay say some heinous shit about fucking her and Albert? Yeah. I don't like it, but all I can state is I don't like it. I can't force Zay to do what I want. Hold on, I'll try. Zay, are you feeling anything? Okay, I'll try a little bit harder. You feeling anything now, Mr. Krabs?
Not quite.
Fuck, okay.
Well, let's get moving into, like I said, they did talk about this on Queens yesterday, so let's see what Tina's response is.
They brought up an interesting thing about sweeping. I mean, I wouldn't really say that sweeping means I disagree with you. I mean, kind of does in some regard, but also, like, if people think you're sweeping, they may give their reason, and I think this is sort of like, on one hand, if people think you're sweeping, maybe you are sweeping, or maybe you're not giving good enough points. Like, maybe your reasoning could be solid, but you actually trying to vocalize it may not be effective, and maybe that's why some people can think you're sweeping. And we have seen sweeping in the LCU a number of times for a number of things, right? Let's not forget that we have seen sweeping a boatload of time, with each of the hosts at least 1 point. Right? I don't think it's about they disagree with you, they don't like you. I think it comes down to you're not vocalizing your opinion as good as you think, or you are sweeping for something that is very, very questionable. It's sort of how, like, when the whole Winged Redemption things happen, and right when he pushed his wife, and how hard, I wouldn't say Keem was necessarily sweeping, but he wasn't, you know what I mean, right? So there's that. And, if we're going to look at other examples, like, how many times have we seen Becky do something, her fans sweep, right? Or how many times we've seen Keem or Mike, right? We've seen this a number of times where every host, one way or another, sweep. Or they just refuse to say something. Or when they do say something, they just say how they feel, or they try to at least prior think of a good enough argument. Because at the end of the day, right, it is sort of hard to convince some of these people or what you're trying to say or do. And when I mean people, I mean their audience.
You think any of them would let me hurt them, be violent towards them, yell at them, be abusive to them in any way? Like, they're already settling so much just to be in a relationship with me. If I have as much as fart wrong, a bitch will walk out the door. I don't mean to be making fun of domestic abuse or anything, but I'm just saying, if you think there's a woman out there so desperate that they're willing to settle for this and also let me treat them like shit, where is this fucking woman? She needs therapy. Let's get her help.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Hey, Buff, where'd you go?
I'm sorry. It really cringes me out. It really does. You have no idea. I have contact embarrassment. I don't know if you know that. I don't know if I've ever told people that. Like, when I was a kid and if embarrassing scenes happened in movies, I had to, leave. and me turning off my camera and like listening to it, I'm just like, oh no, I can't do it. It's like, bro, it's like that's the reason why I was so pissed about this shit, Zay. It's like there's years of like this shit going like against him, and like it would be so fucked up for people to like literally be like
to take all these clips of all the things he said over the years and put them together and call it a pattern of abuse. Yeah, it is really shitty, isn't it?
Yeah. Why are we doing it, Zay? Why are we doing it? Why are we doing it?
As Jojo Siwa once said, karma's a bitch.
Jojo Siwa's actually has been getting piped down. You want to talk about that?
No, I don't want to talk about
Jojo Siwa's getting piped down now. She ain't eating.
Yeah, I do know she's not gay anymore. She does have a man now.
Yeah, she out there, bro. She out there. What?
Lord.
her little stompy dance. I still can never get over that. I really can't. I really can't. Her little.
Still got that one last Boogie clip too, y'all. Well, I got more than one left, but one more that will really make y'all go.
I missed the cat videos. I won't hold you. I know, bro, right? I know, Mazer.
It's also 20 for another cat video if you'd like that instead. Just specify if you want Boogie or cat video.
Look, she said she's by.
MRVNM1 super chatted $49.99.
Was that for?
I didn't get fired.
Yay! He didn't get fired. I don't know what it's referring to, but yay.
Did we? No, I think we talked about somebody like worried about their job. I didn't get fired.
Now to end up this segment of nerds, they did they went through Boogie's past. And Boogie has said a lot of things throughout the years, right? From quote unquote the Mr. Roger of the internet, which I don't think he was ever. Like, I don't know where people get the idea that he was the Mr. Roger. I could be wrong and that people have been saying that for years and I've just never noticed that. But like Boogie has said some very questionable things throughout the last years, right? Though even if you include the context, they kind of say that doesn't matter, and it's like, ooh, by saying that the context doesn't matter, what you're covering, that's not good to say out loud. And I guess in a way, this can be just a thing about the LCU. It's like, does context even matter? That's a question that maybe I'll answer if I get enough sleep, because again, it is 9:10. I've done I've had to do a video already. This probably won't be up to like later into the afternoon or some point deep in the morning. Let's move on.
She lost her mind with that, all right? Lost her fucking mind. Like, I don't know where she was coming at last night. That blew my... She goes, you wouldn't cover that on fucking Drama Alert. Like, it's an opinion. It's not a fucking story. It's... Anyhow.
I just wanted to thank everyone, by the way. One more thing. You're right. I did scream at Zay yesterday when she was on live. And Zay, you're welcome. Since that helps you, since that calms you down, I'll be sure to always scream in your fucking face every chance I get, since I know it's helpful. Since I know it helps calm you down.
Okay.
I can't wait. Maybe me and S1K can dog team you. We'll get on either side of you. We'll scrape in your face together.
Boogie, chill out with your terminology.
She likes it. She likes it.
All right. Glammy, you were in the call.
Hi.
You were in the call. All right.
I was.
So, obviously, Zay Zuda has reached out to you prior to you joining right now, right? To talk about the call? I thought she managed you guys.
The fact that I was already going to plan on coming up here because of the fact that I was in that call. That I couldn't hear S1K. The headphones, I didn't hear him yelling at all.
Did you hear her say, please stop yelling at me? Because I sure did.
I heard her say, it's not going to help to yell. Yelling's not going to help.
Oh!
And then I heard her say that she... No, wait, though. She cleared
But she's
that
lied
up,
last
though.
night. She said it does help. She lied last night. She says it's the only thing that does help. You're now saying that she said it doesn't help during the call. I remember that too, for the record.
Yo, time out. I don't see any brooms in chat anymore. Where are the brooms at? You fucking frauds. You fucking frauds. Where'd those brooms go? Go ahead, Glammy.
Okay, well, Boogie was trying to help. However, Zay was having a hard time. She couldn't go live. So he was trying to say, okay, don't worry about anything. Don't worry about the show. We just want to calm you down and help you out and get you on the show. So he was saying, okay, you know, have your feelings, whatever you're feeling, just go on the show. That was it.
And he was screaming it, and she said, please, screaming doesn't help.
The only thing I heard was Zay said it. Yelling at me, screaming or yelling is not gonna. I think it was yelling. Yelling isn't gonna help.
Well, no, she said it does help. It does help. Case closed, everybody. Thank you, Glammy. Thank you, Glammy. Case closed. Boogie was right all along.
Okay,
Yay!
Boogie, stop. We got $100 donation. Boogie, fix your wall from Sora. Sora, thank you so much for the $100 dono. We don't get red donos.
Help. Where's my fucking building materials, boss? What are we doing this weekend?
Wait, but that's one context. I've been in VCs and calls alone with Zay. I've been in there with S1K. I've been in tons of calls without. We've spent hours on the phone. I have never, in any type of context, do I believe that S1K hurt Zay at all.
He just yells at her when she asks him not to. That's it.
They got into a minor fight. That's a fight. Like I get into them with Mr. Glammy. That doesn't mean that he and I beat each other.
When he breaks down in tears and he's like, please don't, please don't. Do you scream in his face?
When I'm going through it, if I'm going through it and he ends up trying to calm me down, yes, I have yelled at him.
Awesome, everybody, I will scream at Desi's face every chance I get now.
Okay.
You guys, Glammy's right. I can't wait. Desi, you're a whore. Fuck you. You guys are right. You guys are right.
Okay.
All three are completely different.
Okay. Well, here's the important thing, right? Boogie heard a conversation. Glammy's been in a call with Zay a million times. She's never heard anything like that, right? So look, it is what it is. Maybe Boogie's wrong, but I think it's wrong to tell Boogie he can't have an opinion. That's what really bothered me.
Having an opinion, yes, everybody should have an opinion. I agree with that. That I do agree with. But there's never been any
people have completely
that has ever made me feel that S1K hurt Zay. She's
Good, great. All I said was I heard him yell at it, and you corroborated it and think
you didn't hear shit. I didn't hear.
You just heard her begging him to stop. You just heard her saying, "Please don't do that."
Bigger deal than it is. You're making it a bigger deal than it was.
No, you guys are. I said what I fucking said. It should already be over.
Time out.
It should already be over.
Time out, Glammy. He told me about this like months ago.
Yes.
He was like, dude.
We were on Nerds.
He told me, like, in private, he was like, look, dude, I think that S1K dude is an abusive piece of shit. Like, I heard him screaming at Zay, and she was in tears.
No, he didn't hear shit. I
did. But okay, at least we can heard her ask him to stop yelling. It doesn't help when you.
Now, I know what Glammy and Zay and the nerd, right, whatever, there's a little bit of a beef that is going on. Even with that, it is interesting to see Glammy come in and defend Zay and her boyfriend, right? And Boogie is thinking that this is a victory because if I remember, Glammy was there in the call when all that happened, but Glammy was giving her perspective, her reasoning, right? I think if this would have been like Glammy from 6 months ago, I don't think she would have done something like this. Now that I think that Glammy has kind of stepped up her game, you know, take that as it is, she's at least capable of like fighting fighting back with Boogie and saying, no, this is what happened, rather than let Boogie steamroll and let him dictate what happened, right? And clearly, like Glammy, who is highly emotional, just like Zay Zude, could at least understand why in a situation Zay would be going through this. All right. Now, I know I don't know if y'all really care now. I do apologize about coming up a little grumpy because, again, I didn't get enough sleep. Regardless of that situation, in my personal life, you know, you got to give Glammy props that she's standing up and that she's not going to let Boogie dictate how things are going to play out, because Glammy was there, but Glammy is giving her perspective and reasoning because he is somebody. Because we do understand that Glammy has been in a bunch of bad relationships from what she has said. And given how highly emotional and how unstable she is also able to at least, how can I say, give a better insight and clues to this situation compared to others. And Boogie is trying to use what Glammy say and kind of twist it to prove his case.
In their Discord, and it's for all the shows, so everybody's in that
that's cool.
Discord, and we just created a really cool community off it. But
Oh god damn it!
can you mute your mic? There we go. But
They
no,
know that sound. I have a Chihuahua mix, and he does the same thing.
I wanted to get
What
back.
happened to his wall? What happened? To
We
his
did
wall
that for
yesterday?
content. I had a dream that Boogie would break through the wall, and he did it.
He made it through that part of the wall, that hole.
No, he used a hammer, and then the thing is there's 2x4s right there on each side, so he can't,
So he can't get
physically fit through.
So like do like a Jack Nicholson type
Yeah.
of thing or something, like a Shining thing or something. I
Somebody's-
gotta say that I will say this. I saw through H3 when they were watching you guys bury Boogie. I saw that and I was like, what the heck is this podcast? It's pretty funny how like unhinged you guys are. Honestly,
We did a
when you were
camping-
burying him. That was pretty funny.
We did a camping trip, and I had everything planned for day one, right? Then Wings, who used to be on the show, who's no longer, and that's a whole nother story, right? Then he had like a medical emergency, like his gallbladder busted or something, so he was gone. So now it's just me and Boogie, and we have no plan. So I just got I own a shit ton of land. I got the excavator out, and I dug a hole and buried Boogie.
Yeah, I mean, that was the best thing we did.
That was very funny. That is, I think, was your like, what skyrocket? You guys, you got to bury Boogie more often.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, we're getting back together in a couple of weeks. God knows what'll happen. So,
have you done anything cancelable lately that needs punishment?
I screamed at someone that was afraid that was an abuse victim because she kicked me off my own show. So that was probably pretty cancelable. I did that today.
Oh, today! Oh my god!
Yeah, so probably not great.
You're in good company, Dad. He's fine.
Thank you. Yeah,
so
my channels are very PG. Everyone, I don't get in controversy. I don't say.
Damn it! I keep getting interrupted. Damn it! We got a donut. 1 minute. If it's gonna play.
Oh, Lester's. I see Lester's around.
416 super chatted $20. Y'all should hit the no bones dance for us.
Yeah, we should do that at the end. Okay, so I have to ask this. I'm the owner of Dromler. I need to know these things. Okay.
You still do that? I thought you retired and this is what you did now.
No.
You still do drama? Oh,
no,
someone else hosts it, right?
we moved it to Snapchat because way more money.
Snapchat is a thing still?
Way big money.
No.
Lots of views, big money. Yeah.
I thought Snapchat like went out when Vine went out.
No.
Now I'm breaking up this whole thing about Zay just a little bit. We will break it up one more time towards the end. Now in this situation with the Creator Class 3 and the fighter, in the way IDub more or less, I believe he sold Creator Class or whatever to a different group of individuals. It is kind of messed up that in the end, Creator Class 3 is a failure at this rate. Even if they can salvage it, right? I think it's already at a point where is it even profitable? The name is kind of tarnished, at least for now. And Creator Class 3 should have never happened. It should have never been a thing, and they should have learned from the last mistakes. I mean, in the end, if the end goal was to just make money, right, with these fighters, and they should have made it very clear, rather than doing it for charity, right? But I think a lot of people do things for charity because they want to use it as some type of clout, some type of way of, hey, I'm doing this good thing, praise me, clap for me. And I think that failed terribly with, iDubbbz. And I think if anything, that could be a lesson to be learned, that it's good to do things for charity, but if you just want to do something for money, then just be open. But if you're doing, but the thing is with charity, it gives you more. It gives you more people. Gives you more money. Gives you more eyes and attention. But that's just my opinion. I'm a frogman, right? Right. All right. Let's keep going.
cat on camera or on stream.
up.
What? That's crazy.
That's a blatant lie. That's a blatant fucking lie. That's a blatant lie.
She said that. That's
Okay.
crazy.
But you know what? Being from domestic, I had a tendency to make up lies. I fell. I tripped over the cat. I bumped my head, falling down the stairs. And so maybe she's trying to protect herself, and we get it. We want that to happen. That has nothing to do with the fact, Zay, that you said my son was a fucking retard. Because not him, but his mother, the one that brought him into this world, had a comment about your boyfriend, who's a grown-ass man, who sells you on the internet. And if you're not embarrassed by it, how come your grandmother doesn't know what you do for a profession? If you can't tell grandma, you shouldn't be doing it. That's the way I was raised. If your family can't know what you do for a living, you shouldn't fucking do it. But since you guys put it on the internet, we can have an opinion about it. If you didn't want us to know about it, you probably should have kept your legs closed and the camera off while he was hitting it from the back, bitch.
Well, I gotta disagree with that because my grandma don't know I do Michael Jackson. I'm just saying my grandma don't know I be spinning and I be doing the dances and my grandma still got the couch with the goddamn
Vinyl protector or the plastic on it?
Yes. The plastic on it. My grandma still got the couches with the plastic on it. I love grandma. I can't be spinning in her living room because she kicked me the hell out of there.
Yeah,
all right?
they wouldn't get it if I told my grandmother, gee, I've decided to take that well-earned college degree and I don't want to sell houses anymore or sell. I want to go live stream for a living.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do you think
You
my
gotta keep it
grandmother?
low-key.
My grandmother kicked the shit out of me.
You gotta keep that low key. But again,
but just because she, excuse me, yo mama, just because she does all her shit on social media doesn't give her the right to sit over there and say when my show fails, which it wasn't, because if it wasn't the queens, there wouldn't be the nerds. You got it? He was so successful with the first two shows, then he got the third show that was successful, then he had you unsuccessful because you put everything down. And then you got a man in there that says, look here, bitch, I'm not going to coddle to you.
Bruggs,
but he is coddling to you.
4 months, Bruggs. Thank you for the 4 months.
He is coddling to you. I want to do shows. So, Zay, you said my son's a retard. You got proof of that? You got proof of that? Because, listen, you're going to character assassinate my child. I got proof that you fuck, bitch. I can pull up the website right now and watch your... I wouldn't. Listen here. It's a figure of speech. She cannot show proof that my son ever stuck cocks in a corner of a room that she's telling people.
She said, did she say that, or are you being hyperbolic? Is that?
No, she did say that. That's what we got in our first fucking fight about. She said she wouldn't bring my son up again. And every time she gets mad at this big bitch right here.
Now, Queens was interesting because they got into this whole thing about public figure, their individual family, and so on, right? And whether or not it is perfectly fine to call them out, or whether or not if they're free game. This is a very tricky thing that the LCU has been trying to deal with over the last couple months. I would even say even before the LCU, probably as if you really want to say, even down to the individual hosts prior to even the LCL, right? A lot of people will attack Wings by using Kelly, same thing with Desi for Boogie and Brantley for Keem. So there's that. And then when the LCU was created and everything, the targeting amplified. And when we started expanding into the universe saga or the universe, right? As different hosts came in, and occasionally they will bring in their spouse or their kids, right? In the case of Tina. And I think Maiko, he may have accidentally shown his kid. There's this thing about, like, are they open game or not? And it's very difficult, right? Because I think once one person does it, you can't stop it. And Keemstar, I think he at least tried to stop it in a path, but the problem comes down to is like, well, what if they make their own content? Are they open game now? Well, if they're a moderator, are they open game now? And it's always been a deep, deep issue within the LCU. Again, even far back to the LCL. It's why it's important. Like, if you're going to be some type of content creator or streamer or you gotta be, like, always be mindful to protect the ones you want, right? Not want, the ones you love. And by doing that, you have to be willing to do what you can, right? Hide their voices, never show them on camera, never show a pic. You know, and I know a lot of people, especially like a lot more younger generation than me, they have a tendency to, how can I say, show everything, right? It's a very much open to, I wouldn't say open society, but a very much a society where everything could, you know, I guess everything is content. And it's a tricky thing. It's a tricky thing.
Several people have told me horrible things about you, and I don't believe them.
Apparently you do. You spent 4 hours saying how much you believed it today.
Zay is upset at you and played receipts of you being accused. Hold on, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead and talk, Boogie. Let me go ahead and talk to you. Let me hold it, Boogie.
I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you.
You don't have to. You don't.
I don't want to talk to you. You know why. I don't want to talk to you.
Boogie.
I don't give a fuck about your opinion. The only opinion that I needed from you is that you think I'm an abuser. Go fuck yourself. The only opinion I needed from you
if you didn't see me in the stream say,
the only opinion I needed from you is that you think I'm an abuser.
We're grandstanding.
Don't call
I know
me.
you're
Don't
upset.
come to my home. Don't
I
come
know
fucking
you're
near
upset.
me. We will never
Look,
do
I know
content
you're
together.
upset.
Fuck you. You think I'm an abuser? I don't need to worry about
fine with that because I literally said I don't feel you're an abuser. I literally said that on stream.
Well, you shouldn't have spent 4 hours fucking broadcasting that you thought I was.
You shouldn't have pissed off Zay, and she brought receipts on people that did the same accusations you did to other people on a stream yesterday.
I'm glad.
Basically showed you.
Guess what?
Hold on. You want to grandstand, Boogie?
Hold on.
You want to grandstand on something? You put somebody out there.
Let me react to what you just said. Let me react to what you just said. May I?
Yes.
Thank you. He just said that it's wrong to bring receipts of people accusing me of the same thing. Well, Ken today accused me of the same thing today, right? Ken said that when I was having my mental breakdown during the cancer shit, that I was talking about deleting myself and how miserable I was and how that's technically abusive to Desi. And you know what I said to Ken in the Discord today? I said, thank you for calling me on that. Desi does deserve better than that. Desi does deserve better than that.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Wow.
I hold myself entirely accountable. Ken was 100% correct to say that. And you know what I did when I got off live stream? I came up to Desi and I hugged her and I apologized to her and I said, I'm sorry I put you through that. I love you. I'm so glad held me accountable. I'm so glad Ken held me accountable.
No, that's beautiful that you took that and you learned from it. It really is. And that's what I think. Yeah, I think that's where your heart really truly was yesterday. I don't feel like you were trying to be as retarded as it sounded, but I think you just were.
You know what, though? I say wrong, because guess what? A lot of people, like I said, would rather call on the internet and say that I'm fucking my son and have the whole goddamn CPS in my house, rather than when my husband was stomping my teeth out my mouth in my front yard and nobody called.
Now, I did forget to mention that there's still the beef between Yo Mama and One Buff. Now, to give One Buff credit, he's already said it a number of times that if you go after Zay, then you're going after me. And I think that was a declaration of don't mess with us, please. And I think because of that, it makes it difficult for, for One Buff. Because let's say somebody does properly criticize, let's say Zay Zooted. Well, One Buff may get mad if Zay gets mad, right? It puts him in a dilemma that he doesn't want to be in, but he has to. And I think you can respect him. You gotta respect. I'm sorry if I can't pronounce things right now. I'm very dreadfully tired. You gotta be willing to respect a person who, I said the word right, respect a person, and they're willing to die on that hill for their co-host. And that is very good. That is something that I will always give One Buff, that he is willing to stand there for his co-host. And you got to give the man respect for that. And you can say it's kind of sad, but, well, again, things can change, but we'll have to wait and see. But you know, let's keep moving on.
Don't know if it is a false accusation because it's a he said situation with no receipts in it whatsoever. So the way I look at it, it's just Discord shit talk.
But we don't
I
know.
don't
It's
give
Boogie
a
and Zay
fuck
then.
about
Exactly,
Discord
Boogie and
shit.
Zay then.
It's the same thing about Boogie
Exactly.
and Zay. Then
We don't know either way.
Posted here to jump him.
He was literally saying she was being abused. That is that is an accusation. That is not shit talk.
Saying that you wish death on somebody to me is a big deal.
Boogie
Because I
just told
wouldn't
me to
fucking
delete
do it.
my Minecraft server last night. Which
And
by the
Boogie's
way, he
wrong for
lied
that, and I
about.
don't support him for saying
But
that.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Do you think I care? He told me to delete my Minecraft server. No, because you know what I'll tell Boogie? Keep yourself safe, Boogie.
And that's what he's been doing, ironically, to Zay in the Discord, saying like, "I hope you're safe no matter what." He's just now turned on that. It's the same tactic. It's Boogie stuff.
I'll tell Boogie KYS all day long. I don't give a fuck. This is the internet. It happens.
Okay, well, you didn't have that same energy right now. Yesterday,
I was dealing with an abuse accusation.
okay, and I literally said to you, here and in private, I fucking understand the seriousness. If you just said like, okay, yeah, my bad, maybe I should have fucking at least said like, there's no evidence, you shouldn't have made this claim. I'd have been like, yeah, I agree, thank you. I'm sorry for I'm sorry that it bothered me. I'm sorry that it bothered me enough for me to say something about it, but it never got covered. And then when I went on to the LCL and fucking spoke on it, you said, well, I didn't watch Aussie, so I didn't get to see what Steak said. I fucking said it on live.
So we do know
We were
Steak.
dealing with an abuse accusation.
We
It
do
was
know
a little.
Steak.
That's a little bit more heavier.
We do know, Steak, that you, before you were a host, lobbed tons of insults at Zay and S1K before you were a host. And we do know that you did not wish fentanyl death on Zay as she accused you, according to you.
According to me.
Yeah, according
There's
to
no way I
her.
can prove it
Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's no evidence.
According to her,
But there's no
you did.
evidence.
But this is another problem we have with Zay.
Why can't I go on Aussie and just make a false accusation against Zay? Like, oh, the messages are deleted, but Zay told me that I should kill myself. Like, there's no point. It's non-tent, and it's her just drumming up fucking drama. That's the same reason she dragged
butters
Butter
in the
away.
chat.
Non-tent. You just said it.
Then why didn't you call it non-tent? You covered it and laughed about it and made jokes, but you didn't actually say, like, this is
Laughed about it,
bullshit.
and we laughed about it and made jokes, and we were like, we doubt very seriously S1K would go months without saying something. We did. That was our way of
You
saying
doubted S1K,
it's
not Zay.
non-tent.
I'm talking about the host. Nobody doubted Zay. Y'all doubted S1K, and that was super fair.
Wait. If I didn't doubt Zay, then I would have been like, oh my God, Steak, you should have never said that. I didn't say that.
Now,
Zay ain't got no proof you said that.
Beer
so how am I
30
gonna have Zay's
Beer
back if
30
she ain't got no proof?
Beer 30 Club says, how does bro not get the differences between real life abuse allegations?
Now let's end the final part of this video with not S1K, but Steak, right? Now Steak brought up a concern that people were not covering or given the same amount of, I guess, respect or the same amount of, I can't think of the word offhand, relevance, I guess it's a close enough word, about his situation where, I believe it was Zay or it could have been S1K who accused of, Steak saying something that is quite horrendous. And Steak makes it very clear that, I didn't say that. And it's kind of going back to the whole thing with Boogie about this, false allegations, showing the proof and everything. And I think that's what Steak was trying to go on. And it kind of became this whole loop situation in Rewind because they were trying to, move from it, but they really couldn't. And then you saw Xylee, get extremely mad. And to the point where even, Billy was kind of calling out Xylee as well, because I think, not calling Xylee out exactly, but more like he was bringing up the same issue that Tina went through with Becky, or what is it, or what Zay or what one Buff has to go through with Zay, where they have to defend their co-hosts, they have to be there no matter what. And in the end, you really can't blame. I guess you can't really blame them for being in a situation that they have to be in because of their co-hosts, right? Now, back to the steak, right? Like, and I guess it is, you know, at a fair point, you can say that, like, yeah, why didn't he talk about the steak situation? Now, mind you, give them props that they were more focused with the whole, you know, the whole thing with Boogie and Zay Zuda. So prop is prop. But in the end of the day, I think he did make a fair point that, like, okay, well, once everything else is done, why don't you cover mine? Because I think, you know, in his head, his story is important as well. Because they ended up going after his wife and I believe going after his wife, which is kind of messed up. But as I said before, there's this weird thing about the LCU where who is a target, who isn't a target. You know, is Brantley a target, but Brantley isn't a target, but she's on shows and she ran her own shows and she managed a show. Is that free game? Well, if they show up or they're a moderator, like say like S1K, who's a moderator, I believe, in the Nerds part of the Discord and in their YouTube account, well, does that make him a free game? Or what about One Buff Wee's girlfriend, right? Or Albert, right? It's basically Pandora, and Pandora box has opened, and now things are just crazy. And I think that's where I'm going to end it off. Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, God bless.